Welcome. This is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today's lesson is another one by Mary Burrows. And I have just really enjoyed doing Mary's tangles. She said she has more that she's done. She doesn't publish any of them, so we're going to publish them on my site so you can find the step outs there. And this one, I love her tangles because they give you some variety that you can do. This is lines, and this is also lines. I just did it just a little different. So by just doing like a reticule or a fragment of her tangle, and then I have to say again that I'm doing it on white tiles because I had one of our followers, Jacqueline, who asked me to do them on white so she could see them better, and she thanked me. And I have to tell you that I enjoy those comments when and I try to do things that will help you see them better. And I told Jacqueline that if one person makes a comment, there are probably several out there that feel the same way. They just don't make comments because not everybody is into comments. So if you have a suggestion or something you'd like me to do, make a comment, because it's possible there are other people who would like me to do something different. I will accommodate as best I can. I'm not really stuck in my ways that I can't see that something might need to be changed. So we're going to do lines by Mary Burrows, and I'm of course going to do it on white. You'll see that I did it on gray, and here I added some little white lines to it, but I'm going to just do it on white. And we're going to start out with dots in the corners with my pencil, and then I'm going to do my border, and then I'm going to also grid it off with my pencil. So I'm going to go down the center and then across, and you could do it with that big, or which is this one, or if we grid it one more time, we're going to get smaller. So I'm going to grid it one more time because I kind of like that look of a little bit smaller. But you just remember, the smaller the grids, the smaller the pattern will be. And then we're going to start out now. Mary, when I publish Mary's step outs, you're going to see hers go all the same way. Her little, her first step goes all the same way. And I'm going to have them go opposites of each other so that I can do, just something different. So I'm going to start out, and we do that little shape. And so you can rotate that little shape. You can do it back and forth. Like this. And then I could do it the same way here so it repeats. But if I do it opposite again, I'm going to get this pattern. So I'm going to go so that it forms kind of a flower shape there. I'm using an micron 01 pen. And now again, I'm going to come back the other direction. And then again, back this way. And if you take your time and you make sure they meet, but if they don't quite meet, some of mine don't quite meet, let me come in a little closer. And so you can see that they, just see them a little better. Now I'm going to focus on this first little grid right here, because that's where the lines part come in. I'm going to make a line that goes down the center, and then I'm just going to line it off. Just from that imaginary line that runs down with my pencil line. So I'm just going to do that one square, and then on the opposite side I'm going to echo it with slightly rounded, they just follow that round. Now I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to do the lines, and you notice I follow those same lines that were on that other side, and then I'm going to echo this shape with the round. And now I'm going to do this one, this square, and I'm going to start with the round. And you notice that I just followed it exactly. I used that line to kind of gauge me. And now I'm going to do the lines here. And then the lines on this side. And you can see how I'm going to create a pattern here with this, just by this way I'm doing it. So now I know I've got to do round here, so I'm going to start here. And I'm going to use that other side as kind of my guide so that I have a nice point there. Now I'm going to lines, on this side, and I'm going to do lines on this side, so I'm going to meet, and I'm going to come around and do these next two square, well, it doesn't really matter, we'll do this one here. And I'm going to do the round, and you can see that I'm getting a great pattern here in the center. And I'm going to do round here, and they need to come down and meet that other side so that we get that all together there. Now the straight lines. And now the straight lines again. And you can see how fun that pattern is going to turn out. I've just done 4 of them, but now you can go back in, and I went in on this one and just did some striping, so it just really stood out. But I could leave it like this. I could, instead of striping, I could color in this area. I like drama, so I've got to have some black. I'm going to leave a little sparkle there, but I might not, we'll see what happens but we're just going to color in these arched areas this time. I don't particularly like that little sparkle, so I'm going to blacken it in. I didn't like how it looked. Remember not to push hard with your pen. This Micron 01, if you're using a Micron 01 by Sakura, you know that little tip is very, very fragile. That little tip will collapse back in if you push very hard, and then you don't get all the ink use out of your pen. Now you can use a Micron, the PN pen by Micron, which is a plastic nib, and it helps you kind of learn not to push hard, because if you have a light touch, you get a fine line, and if you're heavy-handed, you're going to get a little thicker line. That's with all pens, though, I think. So you see that we can darken it in to get that drama, or we could do like this, but I'm going to also shade. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then we'll do a speed drawing so you can see it finished, and then we'll shade to see what happens. So don't don't leave before we shade, because it's a great, that's what really makes the tangles. So there we have it all done except for the filling in of the black. And we'll go fill in the black. You probably saw that there was some little airs along here. When we shade, those little bobbles and things that you don't like will disappear. So I'm going to go ahead and shade in these, or fill in. So now we have it ready for shading. So, and I think shading is just almost a plus, or a must, I should say. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to shade around the outside here. Sometimes I have to just think, how do I want to shade this? And then I'm going to shade on the ones that are the rounded ones. I'm going to shade down through the center. So the square ones, I'm going to shade on the outside. And let's see, we'll take our shading stump and we're going to blend. That was a very soft pencil I used, and so we get really a lot of shading. But you can see how shading just gives it that depth that you don't get if you don't shade. You can see the difference between the ones that are shaded and the ones that are not. So remember, we're going to shade on the outside of the round ones. Have to be very careful because this is, I'm using pencils from my art kit, and this is a 5B. I couldn't hardly read it. So it puts down a lot of graphite. You could shade any way you wanted on this, really. You just have to be willing to experiment a little. And then I'm just going to take my shading stump and blend that outside line also. And there we have Lines by Mary Burrows. Look at the difference, and just changing a little tiny bit. These were made bigger and all done the same direction. These we just shaded in the background, and here we shaded in the little oval parts. Great tangle, Mary. Love it. I hope you guys like it as much as I do. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because we have new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Thanks again for watching, and tangle every day. It's good for you, and you'll find that your tangling improves, your time for relaxing. I use it for meditation time, and it's because I just can't sit and meditate, but I can sit and draw. And when I do, I really have, it just clears my mind. So give it a try and enjoy.